Did you know that Contra had an arcade machine? I didn't. I saw it on Xbox Live one day, bought it, and this definitely wasn't what I remembered playing in my youth. I had an NES and remember trying to get that 30 lives code in over and over. I mean, who doesn't remember the code from that era? You know, up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, select, select, start. The select part wasn't required, but in my adolescence, I thought it was, and guess what? It still worked. 30 lives! Here I come! As for ever seeing an arcade version of this, I still haven't. Just played the Xbox Live version of what once was, I guess. Contra and I have a long relationship spanning many systems, with the formula pretty much remaining the same. Run to the right, asterisk. And expect that everything is going to try and kill you. The ways you go right, asterisk. May depend on many factors or vehicles or other things that you could be riding. If I go through all the possible ways in the many different games, some examples would be on foot, on motorcycle, hanging from a missile, or even random falling debris into Earth's atmosphere. Suicide mission? Ha! Yee-haw! You think the Contra team is capable of death? Death? Not with 30 lives. I also found it strange that the original Nintendo had what seemed to be a better version of this game, and Famicom even better than that. Famicom Contra had cutscenes. Sure, the backgrounds are parallax scrolling in the arcade, but it also had a monitor that was similar to taking a picture with a smartphone, vertically. It just couldn't show everything like a TV could. How was that decision made anyway? Let's limit what you can see so the enemies stand a chance. I mean, they die with one bullet most of the time, so we gotta give them all those advantages they can get. These aliens are trying to kick your ass, but no one told them that death basically gave up on who they're sending in to kill them. Tricky sentence there. I'll give you a second to digest that one.
The best bloody deal you're going to get, you little prick.
As for the aliens, if they've tried once, they've tried at least 10 times. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many sequels spanning so many systems. They've been trying for how many years now? 1987? 31 years? That's more determination than you'd hear about in a game of Undertale.
I'm very clever guy.
Honestly, this arcade version of the first game is not even close to being one of my favorite Contra games. My top 3 would be like 3. Contra Hardcore, 2. Contra Shattered Soldier, and 1. Contra 3 The Alien Wars, with an honorable mention going to Contra Rebirth. I knew I kept my Wii U for a reason. You can't get that one anymore. I still has it. There I go on a small tangent again. I was a fan of the first game, but I was 7 years old when that one happened. Just the wonder of these interactive things on screen had me losing my mind. Yeah, I know video games existed before that. My uncle had an Intellivision and he played it a lot with my dad, but I couldn't tell what the hell was happening on the screen. Nintendo is the first system that caught my eye. So here I have a game that I could say is better at home than the arcade. There's many similarities. The levels are all still there, the characters are still the same, but there's some things that could just make the games a little to very different. I already went over the screen ratios, but the bosses would be different too. Your character just wouldn't move smoothly in the arcade version. He kinda gimps around and barely even flips when you jump. Another way the home game came through, the sound. The arcade just didn't have the feel. I'll always remember the music on that system more than the arcade version. They just sound like bad MIDI covers of the NES version. The other sound effects felt better on the NES too. How did this happen? Home versions were supposed to be inferior. Remember how the home versions of Pac-Man were in the early days? That's how you do it, you bunch of amateurs, Konami. And then there's the guns, the real main character of the game. Are you shooting everything? Yes, indeed. How can we make it more fun? With odd weaponry, of course. You got your normal gun, machine gun, swirling fire shots, lasers, and of course everyone's favorite, say it with me now, the spread shot. Those aliens won't stand a chance with such odd and unusual weaponry carried around by one person who dies with just one shot. Get shot in the head, dead. In the torso, dead. In the arm, dead. Leg, dead. Toe, dead. Hair, dead. They look so tough on the title screen, but the aggravation level is high in this whole Contra game as a result. Deserve a Quarter does it. Sure, if you find it. It's short enough and it's still kind of fun, but the home version is the place to be. I'm sure an old NES and a copy of Contra isn't going to break your bank at all. Now, as for the connections to get working on your newfangled TVs, it might be an issue or cost you a few bucks, but hey, it's Contra. Plus, there's been so many sequel options since 1987 that you can just go nuts on anyway. Arcade past, let's make it last. Thanks again for watching. I didn't exactly say anything about a quality improvement on these new episodes, and there really isn't. A tweak here or there, but it's all the same software and all done by me. So like, comment, subscribe, and for the most part, enjoy. I watch plenty of YouTube channels I don't subscribe to, and I'm not requiring it. But thanks again, and have a pretty day.